You mentioned sitting on the ground.
Yeah.
Is this option that you have available to you? And we avoid it because if you sit on the ground for a couple of minutes, you want to move because you're like, this isn't comfortable anymore. But that's the point.
That's exactly the point. A chair is so darn comfortable that we could literally be here for 8 to 12 hours. There's almost little to no access to the core muscles, the muscles that support and stabilize our body. The chair, like we're sitting back and leaning back right now, the chair is doing most of the work, which makes it so darn comfortable. And then we wonder why at the end of the day, after hours of sitting, our muscles don't feel good. They don't feel primed and ready for motion. They feel stiff and tight and achy. It's because we're not utilizing them. And when you bring your body down to the floor, there was a study, and I think I might have pointed towards it on our last podcast. There was a study done that people who sit on the floor assume over 100 positions in order to just be on the floor. We're not sitting in 100 different positions on the chair. We're maybe sitting on both hips, or one leg's crossed over the other, or we lean to one hip or the other. There's no variation. And all of us, with the exception of people who are born with congenital issues or structural deformations, most of us are born with this blank slate of a high capacity to move. I mean, you go look at a kid and their movement's incredible. Without the help of expensive movement coaches, or they're not on a specific training program, they can squat beautifully. They squat upright. They've got so much access to movement. And where things start to go weird for most people is as we develop, we have certain interests and hobbies. You enjoy running. And as you do these things you enjoy more, you become a specialist in those things. And when you become a specialist, you lose that well-rounded capacity to move like a generalist. And so many people who have these musculoskeletal injuries, these movement impairments, these chronic injuries that just kind of keep showing up in the same area, that itself is not the root cause. The root cause is how the body's become so specialized to the thing that we are now doing. There are movements that we do, and there are movements that we don't do. And both of those shape the way that we move and feel every single day. And when you look at a runner, they do this very short, limited range of motion repetitively over and over and over. And it's why runners notoriously are really stiff, bending forward to put their shoes on in the morning, and especially post-run. We are losing that well-roundedness, and we're becoming so specialized